For that, let's move on and talk about Welspun now. The company reported a healthy revenue growth of about 15%, but the margins were a bit muted. The home textile business has recorded strong growth. So to talk more about the second quarter earnings, we have with us Dipali Goenka, the CEO and MD of the company. Dipali, thank you very much for joining in, and season's greetings to you. You look absolutely fantastic. So let's talk about the numbers and the way forward and how demand is shaping up. So you've clocked in a healthy growth of about 15%. Can this run rate continue in Q3, Q4? What's the visibility that you have? And is there scope to revise your guidance?
So let me give you a perspective, first of all. I think this quarter actually recorded one of the highest ever top lines we've ever done, around 2,936 crores, which has been up 15.5% year on year. Yes, our EBITDAs were a little soft comparatively. However, in absolute terms, we have still shown a growth in that number as well. But so when you talk about the numbers, we continue to maintain the growth of around 10 to 12% annually, and an EBITDA of around 15 to 15.5%. And that's going to be what we'll continue to target and focus on. This year, actually, this quarter has been a very interesting one for us because I think the Red Sea and the geopolitical issues played their little part here. Because, let us also say that the quarter four of our retailers and quarter three of ours actually is the holiday season. So we were time bound. So we had to get all the inventories that we could possibly get for containers and ships. I had to also make inventory and keep it in the warehouse. So, our working capital was also a little stretched this time, and we had to hold on inventory because we were completely time bound for our dispatches as well. Looking at India, I think India is at a sweet spot, completely an integral part of the supply chain and strategy for a lot of our global partners. So yes, one of the stable democracies. So I hold India as the bright spot for all of us.
Okay, Ms. Goenka, so India is the bright spot. Let's talk about North America because that's a big market for you, right? We've gotten some mixed commentary coming in while Walmart increased or raised their targets for FY25. Home Depot said that maybe consumers are pulling back in terms of consumption and their spending as well. What are the demand trends currently that you're seeing in that market? So,
it's a mixed report that you will see coming in. And if I talk about the quarter three numbers or quarter four numbers for our retailers for the holiday season, they are actually targeting around 3.4% of growth. We saw the Fed rate cuts happening in September. That actually cooled off the inflation. It's going to be a mixed one. Let me be also very, very clear. However, for us as India, it is an opportunity. While the sales could be the way it is, but we still see a 3.4% growth in the consumer spending that comes in owing to on the back of the the holiday season. So yes, that's where it is. So let's see how it pans out, but we are pretty cautiously optimistic on that.
Dipali, the branded business has done very well for you. It's about 15% of your revenues, and in Q2 it went up by 45%. What would be the revenue contribution? Sorry. What will be the revenue contribution of branded going forward, say by the end of 2 years? What are the margins that you enjoy on branded? And what led to, even talking about margins, you acknowledged margins were muted. What were the key reasons for that?
So let me come back. Let me first start with the margins being muted. And I actually, as I touched on it earlier, I said that because owing to the Red Sea and the geopolitical issues and because of the holiday season right around the corner, we had to hold on inventories at our warehouses. We had to look at the inventory availability for our ships and containers was not there. So we really were struggling with that. And hence that got impacted, Now, let me come to our branded business, as you spoke about. We actually call it our emerging businesses. Overall, actually, it contributed around it grew 22%. It contributed around 33% of our top line. And of course, our branded business, that is, our licensed brands, they definitely are healthy in the terms of margins. But a domestic consumer business, which is our India brand, Spaces and Welspun, it grew around 10%. We feel this could be a great opportunity. Our Welspun brand grew at around 20% this time, and Spaces continued to overperform in the modern trade. So definitely for us as Welspun, while we talk about a B2B, which will continue to take the market share, not only in America, but UK and Europe and rest of the world, but India. India is a story where you see a big consumption story. I mean, these 2 quarters is not the way of looking at India's story. Let's look at the next 2 years, and we are very positive about that. And we are looking at maintaining that growth there.
That, of course, is also something that we are tracking, because even in India, consumption growth in festive season hasn't been as good as we've seen in the last couple of years. Ms. Goenka, flooring is around 8% of your business. It's not that big a part, but it has grown well in last couple of years. But this time around, it's just a 3% growth. What's the outlook? What is the second half growth that you're expecting? And will margins stay around that 8 to 9% mark here?
So flooring, you're absolutely right, had grown and has been a little soft this quarter. Again, in these flooring shipments that we give, we actually ship out. They basically are DDP or CIF, and as a result, the impact comes on our customers. So they have actually postponed their shipments for the next quarter, while we continue to grow our businesses in the terms of, reaching out to marquee clients, OEMs in America, Australia, and New Zealand. But also, let me tell you, our flooring business in India has seen a 28% jump. And it'll have a double-digit growth here too. So overarchingly, we feel pretty positive about our flooring business. It is only, and I always feel that let's look at the strategy. The strategy remains intact. Our goal towards achieving, the growth absolutely remains intact. And the India story on flooring, because let me also, that we have the most modern plant in this part of the world. And it is also getting indigenized to 80%. So we feel very positive about it.
Okay. All right, Ms. Goenka, thank you so much for joining in today, and festive greetings to you and everyone at Welspun Living. That's the word coming in from the company. They maintain their revenue growth guidance and the margin band that they had spoken about earlier as well. We'll slip into a break. Up next, we'll discuss the second quarter earnings of LG Balakrishnan Bros with B. Vijay Kumar, the chairman and managing director of the company. Stay tuned for that.